Jonathan, give me one word for how you feel about Stranger Things Season 5.
Disappointed.
That's sad for me to hear because I'll be straight up with you, Jonathan. I loved it. I'm a Season 5 apologist, and I'm here to defend it.
We're going to have a lot to talk about.
Welcome to Fear Talk Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be hopping into Stranger Things 5, talking a little bit about our thoughts about it. I particularly like it, but as you see from the intro, my co-host Jonathan does not like it. We host this podcast at least once a month, and what we talk about is everything horror related. We dive into TV shows, movies, and games, trying to cover everything that's new in the horror world. If you're interested in the Stranger Things 5 conversation, here's the timestamp below. Hop to that and you'll hear a little bit about it. But before then, we're going to touch on some other topics. So, Jonathan, before we get into any topics at all, how have you been?
Been good, man. Been good. We're actually battling a ice storm about to come and brew us away. It's about to be like the next day, or is that what the movie was called? Or the day after?
The day after tomorrow?
The day after tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're about to be living. I couldn't remember the name of it. But yeah, I don't know also if you can really tell if you've watched the other episodes or if you've, seen us on TikTok and stuff like that. I am a little nasally, so please kind of bear with me on that. Just got a little sick. I went to a bachelor party. Not mine, a bachelor party. I ended up leaving, and they were all sharing vapes. I don't vape, but they were all sharing.
You're
vapes
better
and
than
stuff
them.
like that.
That's what you're
saying. Yes, I'm better. I'm so much better, and I'll let them know. Anyways, so I ended up leaving, and my nose was runny and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And it's just been going from there, like a little bit of coughing, a little bit of like runny nose, just congestion. I was like, oh, it's allergies. Ended up getting a phone call, and it's like, hey, are you sick? And I'm like, why? They're like, oh, because like 4 of us are sick
from
this
sucks.
trip. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Everyone has been getting sick this year. It is 2026 for those of you who are listening in the future, and it just turned 2026. Everyone's getting the flu. I have somehow dodged this bullet. I don't know how, because even like my coworkers at my office have gotten sick, and I've just somehow dodged it. I feel like it's going to come for me at some point in the future, though. But you were talking about the ice storm that is brewing down south where you live. You live in the southern part of the U.S.,
yes.
which, I live in the northern part of the U.S., and we have the infrastructure to deal with like a foot of snow and all that kind of mess. But down there, y'all don't have anything to be able to even fight that kind of thing.
Well, here in North Carolina, it's getting it looks a little rough. And that's the real horror out there, is the roughness of the ice storm.
So I have a quick story. We actually got a little bit of what it will be the other night. I was driving on the interstate. It was like 11 p.m. and the snow started coming down really bad. And as I was going down the interstate, I got across this tiny bridge. It's up in the distance. I'm approaching it, and I see a whole bunch of hazard lights on. I mean, it's super snowy, so all I see is white, but I do see these lights flashing in the distance. And what I find as we get there, all of us are going one at a time over the bridge. The bridge had iced over, and the snow was like coming down hard. There were 7 different cars that had crashed into the side railings on the bridge, and we were having to go one at a time through it because they were sliding on the bridge since it had iced over and just hitting the wall. And as I went across the bridge, I started sliding down too, and I had to like angle my tires to go up. But yeah, I don't like.
You don't play with ice. Like, ice is not something you play with. But yeah, no, Taylor, I think you've had some recent things, happen for you. You actually got invited for something pretty big, I heard.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't keep up with things.
Yeah, no, this is your personal life. You got invited to be a big part of someone's special day. You want to tell them about that?
So the wedding saga continues.
Bomb.
Jonathan has asked me, and we had talked about it a little bit before, but he formally asked me to be his best man, and which is pretty insane. Yeah, it's like I put it this way to Cameron. which is my girlfriend, I said, this is kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity. How many opportunities do you have to be a best man for someone else, especially someone that you've known since childhood? It's
It
like
depends on how many times they get married.
that's something too, because I'm expecting every single time you remarry to be the best man.
look, it might not work out. Love you, Colleen. Please don't leave me.
All I'm saying is it could be 4. I could be the best man 4 times. But in all seriousness, it is a super cool thing. And like, I remember it was the day after Jonathan asked me, he gave me this whole package full of all this like very kind stuff that I'll use for being a groomsman / best man.
The shark kit?
Shark. Yeah, and they included, so they gave me all these like really nice he gave me like a shot glass with like it says best man on it. He gave me a pendant that all of the groomsmen are gonna wear. But then they included a shark kit in there for me, which had like diapers and stuff like that, and like wipes and all that kind of stuff. And I said, what the hell are y'all trying to say? What are you trying to say about me?
You have IBS?
I do not have IBS. I do not have IBS.
Colleen just texted me. She was like, I can hear you. You better not have another wedding.
If you do,
I love you, baby.
I'll be the best man. I sent Jonathan a super sappy text that night. And
oh my God.
I sent him like a text about how much I am thankful to be his friend and whatnot. And he sent me back like, yeah, that's crazy, man.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Hang on. I gotta go back and look at this.
I've talked to your girlfriend about this, or your fiance before about this too, and she admits that you're a terrible texter.
I am not a great texter. I'm not good at putting stuff in words. Hang on a second. No. No.
You're like, yeah, that's crazy, man.
No, you sent me that sappy text. You know, I don't want to say sappy. I'm just using your words here. I didn't say like that's crazy. I just said, yeah, man, that's but I was like, nah, man, yeah, for sure. It's weird that we talk about our roles in each other's weddings, but it's actually crazy to be asked to be a best man. We've talked about it before. I was nervous you were gonna say no.
Okay, that actually is pretty sweet.
I didn't say that. You're a liar. You're trying to paint a bad picture of me.
That is pretty kind.
Can we get into the episode, please?
I know these introductions have become longer and longer the more we do this.
They have. No one. They're like, no one cares.
All right, so let's hop into TV shows. What I've brought in today is the first season of Welcome to Derry. It is a prequel to the It series, the new one, featuring Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise.
A sequel?
A sequel, prequel? Oh, are you asking, is this a sequel?
Yeah, I was like, can I actually give my thoughts on it?
So let's preface
someone
it with
who has
this.
not seen the show.
I've seen it. Jonathan has not seen it.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. So
yeah,
the impression,
give your thoughts.
The impression that I was under that it was a prequel to Pennywise and like kind of how he started, I guess. Like not like how he started, but like I guess like the town was obviously terrorized before the events of It happened, and I don't know. I didn't know how it was where it was gonna take place and all that. I didn't even know if like, considering you said it's the first season, it makes me sound like there's going to be another season and all the people who were in it survived. Not all of them, but you know, a good majority of it. But I heard really good things about it. I never heard anything too bad about it. I heard a few people didn't like the ending of it or something like that, but maybe I heard that from you. I don't really remember, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
So this first season was not bad. It was actually pretty good. The characters are so strong. Let me give a little layout of how they're going to do this show. So there's going to be 3 seasons planned. This is a prequel to the 2 It movies. This first one takes place in, I believe it's the 1950s or 60s. The next one is going to take place in like the 1930s. then the third season is going to take place before that in like the like 1900. And so it's going back and back. And what they're doing is, I think this is pretty neat, that they're telling the prequel, the origin story of Pennywise backwards. And so it's almost like a mystery that they're
Mm.
revealing bit by bit about who he is and how he became who he is. Um, like they're feeding us kind of a breadcrumb trail. And they do kind of get into exactly where Pennywise comes from, who Pennywise was, like the actual human before the. It's not a secret to tell you that a demon, that's what
Mm.
Pennywise is. He's a demon.
Mm.
And it kind of shows how this human got infected with this demon, which I think
Mm.
is pretty cool. There is still a lot to be told in terms of what happened immediately after he became infected with the Pennywise
Mm.
curse. I'll do a quick spoiler warning, but with this show, it does go into who Pennywise is, and after he gets infected, there was this demon that was terrorizing this like town, this area, and it
Mm.
had been there for centuries. It came from an asteroid and it hit the
Mm.
Earth, which is like silly. It sounds insane, but they make it work somehow.
The
I don't know how.
symbiote Spider-Man.
Literally, it looks like the stuff that comes out looks like a symbiote.
Yeah.
And it sounds so freaking silly, but they make it work. And then after that, what happens is this thing takes the form of your greatest fear. And what they find is that they see this guy, he's a clown, Pennywise, the dancing clown, and he's at the circus in the 1900s. This was during a flashback in the show. And
Mm.
what they find is the symbiote Pennywise thing sees the actual clown dancing, and all the children are lured to him. And it says, "Oh my gosh, that's who I need to take the form of." So it lures him in, takes him, and then it from there on out turns into Pennywise because it
Mm.
sees that as a viable way to lure people in.
Mm.
You also see Pennywise in the show take the form of other fears that people might have, much more than you see it in the movies itself, which I think
Mm.
is a missed opportunity in the movies. You see it take the form of people's family members that they've had trauma with. I think that's
Mm.
super strong. Um, so those are all the positives. The characters, the kids are super strong characters. They also have a bait and switch at the beginning, which I think is super well pulled off. The
Mm.
show starts off and the first episode begins, and you think that the cast of characters that you're with are going to be the ones that you're living with throughout the whole show. These are the kids that they have featured in the promotional materials too. But then
Mm.
what happens is they take this cast of characters and they kill them all off at the end of the first episode. I thought
Wow.
that was really good. And then they introduce a whole new cast of kids who have been spurred into an adventure based upon that whole massacre that
Mm.
happened. I
I
thought
I
that was
like
really
a
good.
yeah, I like a show that can take risks and like be like this could be a really, bad thing, but we're gonna still do it because we think that people will enjoy this, and when it works, it works. Unlike another show that we'll talk about later.
I think I know where you're going with that, but I'm going to ignore it for now. Um, with Welcome to Derry, the characters are also, a lot of them are the parents of the kids who we'll see in the actual movies, which I didn't really care for the movies that much. I thought the show was much stronger than
Mhm.
the show. They also showcases Pennywise's daughter, Periwinkle, who is like a fanatic for Pennywise and is trying to find him. And then comes to the realization that her dad is no longer there. It's only the
Mhm.
demon taking the place of her father. But she's like, it's kind of like a cult. She's like herself a cult member, like worshiping
Yeah.
this figure. Um, it's overall a really good show. I have some complaints though. It's not scary by any means necessary. It's not a scary show. I think that they
Yeah.
do Pennywise a disservice by making his eyes glow. They kind of like ham them up quite a bit.
Mm.
And I think that if they took a more minimalist approach, similar to how they did in the original It movies, um, I think it would be much stronger. I think that the way that they do it now, where I mean, every other scene that Pennywise comes in, his teeth are like coming out of his face, his eyes are
Mm.
glowing. I just think it takes away from the fear factor because it's like obviously not based in reality. It's not scary by any means. Um, that's my biggest complaint with it. I think Terrifier might have also done me in with actually seeing what a scary clown can look like. And
Mhm.
the Terrifier, Art the Clown. He is a demon, so he's the exact kind of similar thing that Pennywise
Mhm.
is, except for he can't change form. Um, but I think he's done way better than Pennywise is. That's not a hit on Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård is amazing as
Yeah.
Pennywise. I think his acting is phenomenal. I've also seen clips of him behind the scenes with the kids. He seems to always have such a good rapport with them and be able to like make sure that he's not actually scaring the actors that he's working with.
Mhm.
I've seen him hug the kids after he gets done with a
Mhm.
scene and ask them if they're okay. I think that's super cool.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, that he's playing such a terrifying character and he's able to do that. But
I do
last
you
thing,
feel that? Oh, okay, good.
I'll say this last thing and then I'll stop rambling. But I'll say
Mhm.
with the Pennywise character, I did also think it was really strong that they only introduced Pennywise until like episode 4 or 5. They did not show Pennywise before that.
Mhm.
They waited and they kept on showing things that the kids were like getting haunted by
Mhm.
instead of him itself. Um, Also, last thing. Sorry, I said last thing, but here's the actual last thing. I cannot express enough. I mentioned it earlier how bad the CGI is in the show. The CGI is just abysmal. Um, there's a scene where they're going through a cemetery and there's all these ghosts chasing them, and it looks like something out of a Scooby Doo movie. I
Mm.
don't know how it can even be that bad, but it was quite awful. Um, we're regressing as
Mm.
a CGI like age. We've just gone so far back. I don't know what's
Mhm.
happening.
We've peaked with Avatar, uh, Pirates of the Caribbean with Davy Jones. I mean, who else? I mean, Avengers. I'd say like all the way up to Endgame. We've peaked with that. I don't know what it is. CGI has definitely gone downhill. Not always actually. Dune did a really good job on CGI.
I know that there are some movies that still do it really well, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just like littered by how much crap we see. And I wonder if
Yeah.
it's because I've heard it's because deadlines are always pushed with these
Mm-hmm.
CGI animation companies. And so they're forced to get out bad products before they're
Mm-hmm.
even like truly ready due to these
Mm-hmm.
deadlines.
I mean, you could be like Christopher Nolan and be like, "Fuck CGI, we're not doing that."
Dude, practical always wins.
Practical, always, dude. That's why The Dark Knight Rises is like the greatest superhero movie.
Dude, alongside that, I mean, we're going to talk about Stranger Things a little bit later, but
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things season 1, season 2, um, it was almost purely practical effects.
Yeah,
They didn't get into CGI until later, but
I,
we'll talk about more of that later.
I think we need to talk about with that. We'll come to that obviously when we get to it, but we will. I think we need to talk about it because I don't know if you know how much their budget went up, but their budgets were very small at first for like a show at that time, but compared to what it is now, like for the final season, it just didn't feel like it was. Where did all that money go into?
Well,
And
I think it gets into a larger discussion
and, we- and,
about,
we- and, we- and we'll and we'll talk more about that when we get into it. So let's. I don't want to talk
yeah,
about it right now, obviously. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, that's a good
but
idea.
the biggest thing for the show that you were talking about, the Welcome to Derry. My question for you is: do you feel that the Pennywise, like the clown, like Pennywise, is kind of not? I don't want to say overused, but like I feel like he's everywhere, you know? Like Pennywise is like the face of it. But the thing is Pennywise is not who it is. It's just a form of what the actual it is. Like, and I feel like a lot of people don't really know that, because the actual form is the glowing balls. It's like 3 of them. And it's like some type of like interdimensional creature from another planet, some shit. That's always like Stephen King shit. But
Yeah.
I definitely do feel that, like, to me, Pennywise is, I don't want to say hammed up, but like he's a little overrated for that creature. I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I can't really put it into words. Like, I don't want.
Yeah,
He's
it's
kind
a
of
magnificent
overused
story.
in a way.
It's a magnificent story that blew up, and like you see his plushies and everything all around.
Yeah. But I do like that you said that they don't have Pennywise in there, because if they really wanted to go like all balls to the wall, they would have had Pennywise all in the show, like for the whole thing almost, and that's it. And obviously, and I kind of disagree with you with like maybe compared to the show, you said it was a little better. But I disagree with you where you said the movie didn't utilize Pennywise using other forms. I do disagree with you on that. In the first one, I definitely do think that he used their fears like more than he used the Pennywise stuff. Now in the second movie, I think they realized how big Pennywise is, and they took full advantage of that. I do agree with you there, but I think the first movie did very well.
I guess maybe I'm kind of jaded by, not jaded, that's the wrong word, but I'm just kind of biased by watching the show, and the show literally barely uses the Pennywise character, which I think is so good, because just pulling on someone's fears is so much stronger. Here's my problem too. Cameron is able to watch this show. She's my girlfriend. She cannot watch any horror movies at all, and she is able to get through this show. I think that's the mark of a bad horror movie. If someone who cannot watch horror shows or horror movies is able to watch it without getting scared at all.
Right.
Yeah, there's no sense of dread at all. Yeah. The characters, though, I cannot get over. There's one character, there's this little boy, I forgot his name, but he is like, they do amazing with the friendships that these kids form. They do really well with it.
I'll be honest too, though. I think the movies are really not that scary. I think the characters are what make the movie really good. Like, is it like my fiance is scared of the movie because she doesn't like clowns. That's fair, you know. But I'm not afraid of clowns, and I don't think it's not a like it's a horror movie, yes, but it's not really like a like if you were like, oh, I like horror movies. Oh, what's your favorite horror movie? You haven't seen many horror movies then.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
People have drawn a lot of conclusions, or people have drawn a lot of threads between Stranger Things and this new Welcome to Derry show. There's several shots with the kids in Welcome to Derry where they're riding on bikes, and it feels very Stranger Things-esque. It feels very Stranger Things season 1-esque, and I think
but here's the thing: how the hell else are they supposed to get around? They're kids; they can't.
That's
drive.
Exactly right. I will say, watching it, you can tell Stranger Things was a huge influence on Welcome to Derry. And I think that's why people have been comparing the two. And I think Welcome to Derry gets that nostalgia factor better than Stranger Things does.
Right. Okay.
But overall, I have to say this season was good. It's not my favorite TV. Some people are loving this thing like it's the best thing ever. I think it's good. It's not Alien Earth where I can't even finish the season. It actually is captivating.
I want to try to go back and finish it, but
I want to try to.
I want to try to emphasize on try, because if I'm not invested and I want to keep watching your show, I don't care.
Yeah, like, I have better shows to watch.
Especially if I'm watching it week by week. The only show that I have recently watched week by week right now is The Pit. What is that? It's a medical show.
Okay.
It's really good, actually. It's on HBO Max. I don't know if you heard of that. That's the real horror. It's the emergency room.
Show. You told me about this show. That sounds interesting. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Anyways, we won't get into that though. So final rating on Welcome to Derry.
You know what? I'm coming up with a new rating system. Here on Fear Talk Radio. Since our logo is a skull, I'm going to give this 7.2 skulls out of 10.
Ooh. Yes. What's a 10 skull?
What's a 10?
Yeah, what's a 10?
Terrifier 2 for me.
Terrifier 2? Sorry, I just made like a face that was like, what?
No.
Can I give you my 10 out of 10 is like Alien 2.
That's so valid.
That's a 10 out of 10 movie.
That is very valid. Yeah. I would. Yeah, we'll start using this rating scale, the skull meter. Okay, cool. So next show we have, Jonathan, you have one?
Yeah. So we've talked about this show before on the podcast, but a new episode has came out and I watched it. And I don't know, maybe you have watched it, maybe you haven't. The 7th episode of The Amazing Digital Circus came out. I have a little mixed opinions on it, but I do think that it raises a lot of questions because it doesn't answer questions, but it makes things more suspicious. Have you watched the episode?
I've watched the first 5 episodes. I have not seen 6 or 7. So you go on about all this, and I can give thoughts as we go.
Did you say 6 or 7? I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
Did you not even pick up on what I was saying?
I'm not entertaining it.
That's okay. Anyways, so yeah. So basically, long story short, wait, fuck, you haven't seen the 6th episode.
You can get into spoilers.
Okay. Well, you know about their fight that they have in the episode 6.
Yes, I know about Jackson.
Yeah, and Pomni's fight. So basically, long story short, they have a fight in episode 6 that basically has Jax on the brink of being abstracted. Like, and we kind of get in a little bit more into what an abstraction is. It's not really the moral of like giving up. It's more of like a high feeling. And that's kind of what episode 7 really shows us, because Jax is like in his room by himself while everyone else is like kind of at the beach doing whatever. Cause they're like, oh, we're just gonna have like a day off. We're just gonna go to the beach. Ha ha ha. And Jax has started having this like really high feeling where he's like, there's like a lot of colors. He's just like floating, and it's getting really into it where it's like, he's about to abstract, but he ends up getting interrupted because apparently something that ends up happening, something that they have been setting up for a while is you in the background, you'll start seeing this character, this like NPC kind of showing up out and about, not really saying anything. Comes to find out that it is a worker of the company that has them trapped in the system that they are in. That's what Pomni saw the offices to. And he's like, I know a way out. And so basically it turns into this whole thing, and Jax doesn't believe it. Jax is like, this is like complete bullshit. Because this is just going to be Kane. He's going to be like, oh, like, congratulations on beating the Escape the Circus challenge at the end of this. Blah, 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 blah. So they end up believing the guy, and they end up trying to escape. But the guy doesn't want Kinger to come for some reason. And Kinger has no idea who this guy is. And there's a lot of subtle details that you don't really pick up on until you rewatch it. Because while Kinger is in his little fort, as we know, Kinger is pretty self-aware when he's in the dark. So when they're in the dark explaining that this guy knows Kinger and he knows the way to escape, Kinger has no idea who he is. But people see that as, oh, he's just being dumb because Kinger's dumb. But it's like, no, that's not how he works. It ends up getting towards the end, and there's 2 buttons. They have 2 buttons to press. One is escape the circus, like shut down the system, and the other one is to basically like stay. There's 2 buttons. And they start hesitating on which one to press. And something starts happening with Jax where his mind starts seeing his real life. And he starts freaking out. Like he's like on the verge of like a panic attack. And it gets to a point where we are starting to see like real life bits of the world through his eyes and like things that he's seen. And it's like, it's clearly bad enough to the point where he starts flipping out enough to where he hits the button that doesn't let them leave. So they end up staying. But Jax was right from the get-go. It was a ploy from that Kane made up. The whole thing's made up.
What I'm thinking is that this wasn't actually all Kane's idea. I think he's just putting on that ploy because they chose that button.
I think it was a ploy because like there are subtle hints that show that it is a ploy. Like, and that's something that you could just like look up. Because they're like through the episode, there are subtle hints that show you that like none of this is true. and that it was a ploy from the get-go. But it kind of shows that they were all wrong about really what Kane can do, and that's like showing their minds. But also the best thing that I kind of came to the conclusion myself of was Kinger remembering such a horrible memory that he can even remember it in like that bright light. Because I don't know if you saw, that light was like very white, and Kinger was even able to remember a horrible thing that happened to the first person.
We also are told that basically none of the memories that they have are fabrications, so we can trust that.
Yes. But we also don't know if he's lying about, because he's saying that like he can mess with their minds, basically.
He can, but they might abstract.
Yes, he is saying that. And I also like the line that he's saying, like, I'm just here to have fun. He's not saying like, I'm here to make sure y'all have fun or you have fun. It seems like he's kind of doing it for his own pleasure in a way.
If you had to come up with a theory for what Kane's motives are, what would it be?
A lot of people have said a theory of Kane is somebody who is like playing God, like in their own house or something like that, and basically are using people that he trapped in his in his own way to keep them entertained and basically like be in charge and have friends, because they're like, oh, it's probably like someone lonely or something like that. And I kind of like that one a little. I think it's a little far reached, but I think because they say that Kane's an AI, but I don't think that he's an AI unless he is. I could be wrong. Who knows? A new episode comes out, I think in March. I think it's like March 12th or something like that. So hopefully that gives us a little bit more answers on what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm super interested too. I need to catch up. It looks like it's actually reaching a point where they're going to give us some more answers. Although there's a lot of stuff still up in the air.
Right. Also, the animation quality has gone up so much since like the first episode.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for more of that to come. I love a good show that offers like a lot of things. Every single thing matters. And that's another thing about animation, is that every single thing that they put in there is emblematic of something that they thought out. Instead of like with live action shows, sometimes things are mistakes, as we might get to later.
Not like to go too far into it, but Game of Thrones had the Starbucks coffee thing.
Oh, I never saw Game of Thrones, but I know what you're talking about because it was everywhere.
Yeah, everybody.
It was everywhere, yeah.
And of course, it was during the worst season of all.
I'll be straight up. I'm thinking about watching Game of Thrones only because House of Dragons is so good, I hear.
I have watched the first 4 seasons, or the first 3 seasons, I think. It's really good. I really enjoy it. I want to go back and continue it to see like where the downfall started.
I hear that. So people have said, I saw this one YouTube video, not to relate everything back to Stranger Things, but they said if you haven't seen the season 5 of Game of Thrones, let me put it like this: imagine Stranger Things ends with Vecna getting killed by Will and Jonathan's dad, Lonnie, from season 1.
Right. You're right. Yeah. I've seen that where people are comparing Stranger Things ending with Game of Thrones, which is not close at all. So let me explain what the Game of Thrones ending would have looked like in Stranger Things.
As for movies, I do have a couple that I want to talk about that are coming up this year that I'm super excited for. Pretty much only 2 that I have on the horizon that I think are very, very cool. October of this year, since we are at the start of the year, I do want to bring it up. The final, quote unquote, final installment of the Terrifier series will be released. I know, but they say that they're going to put a bow on it. They don't want it to go for like 20. Damian Leone has said that he doesn't want there to be like 20 remakes of it.
I'll believe it when I see it. That's kind of how I feel.
Terrifier 4 is coming out in October, and I'm so excited about it. I love the Terrifier series. I thought Terrifier 3 was strong. I didn't think it was as strong as 2. I thought 1 was amazing. I thought 2 was one of the best horror movies ever. And I thought 3 was, it's like, it was just good. It was good, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as good as like 2. Um, and then Terrifier 4 is apparently going to wrap up everything. We'll figure out exactly what the Terrifier Art the Clown is. We'll also have a bow tie on Sienna's story, who is the main protagonist in the Terrifier series. Um, and then on top of that, this year, with an unknown date of release yet, the Pooniverse Endgame is coming out. The Avengers style Pooniverse movie is coming out with Winnie the Pooh, Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty, all of them coming together for the Pooniverse movie. Do I care or want to watch it? I care. Am I going to watch it? Probably not.
Hell no.
But I think it's fun that it's even happening.
Look, I have not seen anything from it, so I do not care.
Bambi will be in it.
Ooh. Guys, I think I have to go watch it.
Those are the films that are coming out this year that I'm super excited for. But there's also something that we've talked about in the past that I think deserves talking about, which is Return to Silent Hill came out, the movie, and it does not have good reviews. Who would have thought?
Oh, shocker.
Who would have thought? A movie that is a video game movie is not getting good reviews. It's hard to pull off, especially since Return to Silent Hill was trying to be a one-to-one with Silent Hill 2. They were trying to really model it after the game itself, which is such a difficult thing to do. I don't know how you can do it. People are not happy with it. They just say it's a video game movie. That's all they're saying. It has a 15% tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty rough. But you know what's bad about that? Is that people are saying this isn't the worst Silent Hill movie.
Which is not saying a lot.
That dude, imagine like you have a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes and people are like, well, it's not the worst they've done. They've said that basically all the characters are just really, really not done well. And also the CGI is said to be awful. And I had said that, if you remember, I had said whenever I saw the trailer, the CGI in this film looks quite awful. It's the only thing that's really turning me away from it. So it looks like that kind of did it in as well. But yeah, Return to Silent Hill was a major flop.
I feel like they also are very, and I hate to say it like this, I also think that they're very disrespectful with the series because they try to bring in like Pyramid Head, which is obviously the face of Silent Hill at this point. But they also used him in the first movie, and now they're bringing him to a second movie with a different character. But the monsters are supposed to be the fear of certain characters. So how is Pyramid Head somebody's fear, somebody else's fear? You get what I'm saying?
So I've heard people try to explain it in the movie universe. So James Sutherland, the individual who's the main protagonist in Return to Silent Hill, also Silent Hill 2, is the person who has Pyramid Head chase him. So it makes sense for him to be in this film. The problem is this film is a sequel to the other Silent Hill films, which have already shown Pyramid Head. How do you do that? People have said that since the other individuals have gone through the Silent Hill universe, those demon fear things are just living in that area still. That doesn't feel like a good answer, but it's what people have come up with to reason it all out. And I've a huge issue with plot holes and continuity issues. We see this with the X-Men movies. The continuity throughout the X-Men movies is awful. And I don't understand how it's so hard to stay in line with what has been established before. But that's all I have to say about Return to Silent Hill. Video games, John.
Oh, hold on. I had a movie.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I finally watched it. The movie's been out for a while. I finally watched it, and neither of us had talked about it. Well, we talked about it on the podcast like when it was coming out, and there was a little bit of controversy with it, and I saw the reviews, and some people liked it, some people didn't. We watched it for myself. We watched Weapons. And you know what? I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. And I liked the way it told its story where it was not through one person's perspective. It was actually through like multiple characters' perspectives. And it tells that story where it'll like go back in time a little bit to show how that character got into their position that you saw through the other person's perspective and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. Although a lot of people didn't, they really wanted the teacher to be the main focus. But I think each character in the show did really well in it. People hated the ending too because they were like, it was kind of just like wacky and goofy, and they kind of made it like Marvel-esque, like silly bullshit. But I don't think I fully agree with that either. I think it wasn't funny, yeah, but I still think in a way it is still brutal. I liked it. I thought it was pretty okay. I think in total I'd give the movie like a solid 7 out of 10 skulls.
Okay. So Jonathan that's pretty good. That's a pretty good rating. Since we're going back and we're talking about films that we've spoken about, but we haven't rated, or one of us hasn't seen it before. I did watch Bring Her Back. And
you didn't like it the way I liked it, really.
No, I thought it was a good film. I just didn't think it was like
a horror movie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agreed with that.
No, I think it's a horror movie. I just don't think it's
or scary. You said it wasn't scary.
It was not scary. It also, there was moments where I felt like it wanted to be gruesome, like the glass chewing scene. This is probably my fault too. I've seen like videos about how they made that sound and stuff like that, and like how they've.
I was about to say I went into that not knowing.
Yeah, that's probably my fault. Is that I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff, so that's it's kind of probably polluted my mind about like how those things work. I thought it was a good story though. I hated the mother. Oh my gosh, I hated the mother.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to like her.
She was just awful. She was like trying to be this like hippie therapist to them, and like then she was just like peeing on them in the middle of the night.
Out of context, that sounds so bad.
But it makes sense in the film.
Yeah. I will say, out of the two movies that those directors have made, which is Bring Her Back and Talk to Me, I think Talk to Me has a better story, but I think Bring Her Back has better characters.
Yeah, the characters are strong. I do like the character. I like the son. He cares and he wants the best, but he's just screwed over.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's obviously what's going to happen when you find your fucking dad dead on the floor. When there also signs that the dad was, like, abusing them or something?
Abusing the son, not the daughter. Yes. The daughter didn't know.
Yeah. I liked Bring Her Back. I thought it was really solid. I think it's one of the best, like, horror movies that I've seen in a while. I like Bring Her Back more than I liked Weapons.
It was, I mean, it's the right direction. For horror, it's the right direction. I'll give it.
It's also more, and I think when we talked about it too, I even said like it's not a scary movie; it's more gory than anything.
It is more gory, and I think it's a good step in the series that where we're going as a horror genre. I'll give it a 6.5 skulls out of 10.
Really?
That's not bad.
Bring Her Back.
That's not bad.
I give it I'd say like an 8.5.
I think
like a 9 almost.
I think it's a little worse than Welcome to Derry.
Oh damn!
Little. I think Welcome to Derry is a little bit better.
Have you seen Talk to Me?
No, I have not seen Talk to Me.
That one you need to watch. That one's good.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I do have a quick update on Jordan Peele that came out recently. Okay, so maybe this can't come out before, but this has been blowing up recently. So. Do you know why Jordan Peele got into making horror movies?
No.
Well, let's go back a little bit. Before Jordan Peele was making horror movies, he was doing comedy sketches with Peele. Wait, no, I mean with Key and Peele. They were doing sketches on Comedy Central. These were blowing up on YouTube. They were huge. The Aaron meme came out of it. All of these huge cultural moments came from this comedy show. It was probably one of the biggest on Comedy Central at the time. And Jordan Peele was seen only as the goofy guy. He was just the funny guy. 2017 marked a downfall in Jordan Peele's psyche, his mental state, because in 2017, he was offered the role of the poop emoji in the Emoji Movie. After this was offered to Jordan Peele, he reconsidered who he was as a human being. I'm not joking. This is what he said. He reconsidered where his trajectory for his career was going and decided to pivot into directing and creating horror movies because he wanted to be taken more seriously and not be the first thought for the poop emoji in a movie.
You know, if he was in that movie, I think it would have made it so much better.
I never saw it. I do not want to see it either.
I never saw it.
Dude, imagine you're like the first call. They're like, we got a movie idea. And we think we got a role.
So we made this character. We thought of you. we thought nobody else could be this character except you.
Dude, okay, here's how you approach that. Dude, we're making this emoji movie. We want you to participate in it. We have a couple roles we're like looking at. This person's filled this role. That one's filled that role. We have this one that's left. We know. But would you be willing to?
If they told me they're like, we have James. If they told me they're like, we have James Gordon in the movie. Get me out of here.
James Gordon is going to be the kissy emoji.
No, he was the hand emoji. God, get it right. And the guy who voices the fucking main character, I hate him. I don't know why. He annoys me.
Who?
Fuck, what's his goddamn name? Hang on. Dude, it doesn't even come up. It has a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. Holy shit.
How?
You have TJ Miller.
I have no idea who that is.
He's the guy who played did you ever watch the Deadpool movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that was like Deadpool's like best friend.
Oh yeah, he got in some controversy, didn't he?
Ryan Reynolds didn't invite him back to be in Deadpool 3, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm just like too good to be in." That's probably not exactly what he said, but he said something on the lines of like, "Yeah, I wouldn't have done it even if I was asked to go back." It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you would have. You definitely would have been there.
Yeah, you would have. Your butt hurt that you didn't get invited back.
Yeah, I'm looking at his catalog of movies that TJ Miller has been in so far. Bad. It's not good.
Except like Big Hero 6, when she's like the most annoying character in that fucking movie.
They say, okay, we have an annoying character. Who can we cast? TJ Miller.
TJ Miller? Oh, quick help, guys.
Who was he in Cloverfield?
I think it was like, no. I think Jonah Hill was in Cloverfield.
He was Hudson Platt. I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
The camera is shaking the entire time during Cloverfield, so I can't make out any of the characters.
Dude, Cloverfield it's a good movie, but like if you're not a motion sickness person.
I mean, I have no connection with any of the characters because I couldn't make out their face the entire time.
But Jonah Hill is not in Cloverfield, by the way.
I didn't think he was.
I thought he was for some reason. I don't know why.
Are you ready to hop into wait, have we talked about video games yet?
No, we have not.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's talk about
the main event. It's like, no, we haven't even talked about video games.
Let's get into some video games for today. Jonathan, you have some games that you want to talk about.
My life is like a video game, all while I am trying to collect the coins. Cling.
I have no idea what that reference is.
It's just it is. I think it's like a Falling in Reverse song that he just just made up to be like dumb. Anyways, yeah. So I have two games I wanted to talk about, but I might leave the last one to be actually our suggestion.
Yeah. If you whatever you want to do
that. So we'll do that. So the game that I actually brought to the table, I caved in. Call it FOMO, call it what you want. I made a whole video about how I was not going to buy this game because I played the beta and I was like, this game's dumb. Why would anybody buy it? Like, it's just a remake of like the last game for $70-$80. And you know what? I bought it. I bought Black Ops 7 Zombies.
Have we talked about anything about Black Ops 7 on the pod yet?
Nope. I don't think so.
I have opinions. So you go first.
So I actually want to hear your opinions as somebody who has not played it yet.
So here's what I have to say. I'm not talking about zombies. I'm talking about the story because the story is very horror-esque. Um, I think there's a lot of good that they were trying to do. They were trying to branch off. They were trying to make a new, innovative story that was different, that played with fun, unique ideas that I see very zombies-esque, honestly. I mean, zombies are incorporated into the campaign, so it's like similar in that regard. But what you've run into is they're releasing these games too soon after one another, and the company and the developers are pushed on time, so they're having to utilize AI assets, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants AI assets. It makes the game feel unpolished, not cool. It feels like there's no life. It feels like you drag the life out of it whenever you begin to just automate those things away and not actually have developers put their heart and soul into it. I think that the
Yeah.
developers want to actually care about this game and put effort into it, but I don't think they're given enough time. The story looked so cool. I've watched videos discussing it. So many people hate it. It's such a cool idea.
When you say the story, are you talking about the story from like where it's been from the beginning or the Dark Ether story?
Oh, I'm talking about the campaign of the game.
Oh, Black Ops 7.
Hmm.
Oh, fuck no.
I think no. Here's what I have
No,
to say.
that shit was ass.
It was not accomplished. They didn't do it well. But what a cool idea.
No. No.
Dude, think about it. Think
No.
about it. We've asked for a different type of story for so long, and they finally give us a story where like there's these okay, the giant people are not cool.
No.
That is an L move. But
No,
as
when people are asking for another fucking story, they're not asking for that bullshit. They're asking, can you make up an original fucking story instead of trying to rely on fucking nostalgia by bringing back characters who should have been dead or retired? Woods, Price, Soap, Mason, like
granted,
make up something fucking original.
I
That's
didn't
not
play
like,
it, so it might be just that bad.
because here's the thing. It's so fucking bad because Black Ops 2 is probably one of the best campaign stories, maybe besides Modern Warfare 2. I'd say Black Ops 1 is up to, like, those are really good stories. The Black Ops 2 story has like, it doesn't really have like a quote unquote canon ending, but now that Black Ops 7 exists, it now has a canon ending technically, because now we're going off of this, which is one of the worst endings of Black Ops 2.
I didn't realize that they
Because
canonized one of the endings. I
yeah,
don't know
they
that much
basically
about
they
it.
basically made the canon ending where Mason died, where what's his name killed, where Mason killed Menendez, and like, I don't know, it was just like there's just like a whole bunch of it. But they try to bring back like, and they try to do this like they basically took bits and pieces of Black Ops 2 story and they made it into, this story.
I get excited whenever I see people trying to push the boundaries, and maybe they just really, really miss the mark.
It's not pushing boundaries though. It's fucking lazy. Because if you're pushing boundaries, you're going to go out of your way and create a new story. But the thing is they are relying on all of the, like, they are either relying on multiple things. They're either relying on a certain time of year, which is like a certain war that happened, because they've already gone through Cold War, they've gone through the Vietnam War, they've gone through World War II, like all these different wars. So they're relying on, that and not creating their own story, which Modern Warfare series, like the original 1, 2, and 3 did. They basically made their own World War III, which I thought was really well implemented. Had original characters, had original this, whatever. Black Ops 1 actually worked because it works because, one, there's like, obviously, yes, those original characters, but you also have familiar faces like, JFK in there. You have like all these big, like Fidel Castro, and all these like important people that were there during that time and who were, important to that war. And it actually shows like, that kind of story and the stuff that the Vietnamese were doing to like Americans, that what Americans were doing to, other people. It shows both like sides being just awful, and that's what made it work. It's also trying to unravel this like mystery that was going on, and Black Ops 2 then creates its own timeline but based off of the first game, which again I feel works.
I feel like Call of Duty thrives best, the campaigns in specific, when they have a narrative and a message that they're trying to get across. And with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I think that's probably one of the best campaigns we have. It was actually, it's interesting because Call of Duty, if you don't know this, has been speculated to be a funneling system into the military for a lot of people, and it seemed to be kind of utilized by a lot of like the military industrial complex. That's theories, but Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was actually, people have looked at it and said this is an anti-capitalist game because it showcases a private military company taking over the world and how
and
corrupt
being the
that
bad guys
which do you know how people love that campaign, and I thought it was so fun because
I liked it.
It actually
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say it played with the idea of techno-fascism, which is like a fascist nightmare of like a private company trying to take over and be authoritarian and like push everything in their own direction. I thought it was super interesting and cool.
Here's the
Kevin
thing.
Spacey as the villain.
Dude, he's such a bad guy. You see the controversy he got in?
He really is a fascist.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, but no, I think if we're like, if you're talking about it, I think if you want to talk about a campaign that pushed boundaries for like Call of Duty and stuff like that, I think look no farther than Infinite Warfare's campaign. I think that campaign pushed so many boundaries. The only reason that campaign did bad is because it was titled to a fucking game, like shitty ass game.
Infinite Warfare was amazing. It came out at the wrong time.
Yes. I 100% agree. But I think the campaign has some of the better original characters. Not like better as in like better than like, Black Ops and Modern Warfare's original characters. But I think for newer characters that they were trying to explain, yes. And I think the reason I like it also is because the story, it takes itself, obviously seriously, but I'm trying to say this without really trying to go into spoilers, because if you haven't played it, I would 100% recommend playing it. Like, even if you don't like Infinite Warfare, that's fine. If you don't like the gameplay, that's fine. But the story is so good. The villain's pretty good. The story's pretty good. Like, I'd say like a solid 8 out of 10 game. But like, obviously your Modern Warfare trilogy and Black Ops 1 and 2, I think those are like 9 or 10 out games. That's like what I think of when you think pushing the boundaries and making something better. I think when we started bringing back remastered versions of certain characters, because the 2019 price in Modern Warfare 2019 is not the same price as, original Modern Warfare's price. Those are two completely different characters. I fucking hate that. That's so fucking dumb and so it's playing it safe. And sometimes, like, I don't want that. I don't want you to play it safe. And that's going to be my original thing with Zombies, is Zombies is trying to play it safe. They keep bringing back the original cast. They keep bringing back the original characters because that's what works. That's what people want. People want those original characters. People want we have to bring the people, like, the nostalgia, so they'll buy the fucking game. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, make something original. I'm tired of companies they rely too much on familiarity. Like, it's insane. This is something that actually like grinds my fucking gears.
I have an answer, and I think this would work. I think you get a what would you call it? A board of people like Milo or Mr. Raffle Waffles, and you get these experts on the lore and stuff like that. You bring them in, And before you even start producing the game, you all sit
Mhm.
down and like have a storyboard. They all start working. It's like people who actually care about these
Mhm.
games know what would probably be best, like for the
Mhm.
next move for the series.
Yeah.
Um, I think that would be a great idea. I don't
You want to
understand.
know? You want to know the funny thing? They used to do that for Black Ops 3.
I heard that they used to be involved.
They used to be so involved. They used to be able to like actually like sit down and take recommendations. Like, what do you think that this is? For Black Ops 7, Milo, or Mr. Waffle Waffles, for anybody who doesn't know Milo's name, went to a press conference or like a, you know, a YouTuber thing for Black Ops 7 Zombies, and he literally asked a question: what is going to make Black Ops 7 so different from Black Ops 6 because of the price difference? Like, what is changing that is going to advise people to buy this game that's, you know, like for such a high cost, you know? And you know what their answer was?
Hmm.
It was just some bullshit. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something like on the lines of, we strive to
We strive
make
to create a
changes to
very
the game.
polished game that will
Yes.
innovate upon. Yeah.
That will innovate upon itself and will fucking it was again, it was some bullshit answer that didn't answer the question at all. And even before the game released, Milo was like, I don't think that this is going to be a good game.
And I watched a
And
video of his recently, and he's talking about how low the numbers are for his channel, and
yeah,
that just is kind of emblematic of where the community is right now.
yeah, and also for that as well, it's and the thing is like Activision came out and they're like, we realize our mistakes and we're sorry. So what we're gonna do is, so from now on, no two titles will be released back to back. And I'm like, that's not the fucking problem. They're basically saying not games. No. There's still going to be a yearly Call of Duty.
Yep.
The problem is that they're not going to release a Treyarch game and a Modern Warfare game.
Jonathan, and you're going to hate me for saying this because you ended up buying it. People need to stop buying these games.
Yes, I know.
Because that's why they're doing it.
You know why I bought it?
Why?
Because I thought, here's the thing. Does Black Ops 7 Zombies have more, I don't want to say more to offer, but like, does Black Ops 7 have pretty innovative stuff for, you know, whatever? Yes, I do think that, because they have the curse mode. And with curse mode, do you remember, okay, let me put it like this. Do you remember the skulls from Halo?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you could put the skulls in the campaign that give you like different like
modifiers.
Challenges to the, yeah. That's basically what curse mode is. You go in curse mode and you do certain things to get different skulls, and you can add said skulls to your game. And if you beat the Easter egg with those said skulls, you get more rewards. Which I thought that was a pretty cool like implement.
I like that.
I thought that was really cool. The problem is the game, it doesn't feel like the map. So people were like, I don't even remember what the main map is called. Anyways, they're like, it's like one of our biggest maps of all time. And it's like, no, it's literally, you go to this area and then you drive a long, narrow road down like through with a truck, like a modified truck that has Pack-a-Punch on it. And you go to the next map. And I would say 3 out of the 5 places that you go to are areas we've seen before, aka Ascension, Bus Depot, and Farm. And only 3, there's 6 places. So 6 out of the places we go to, out of 6 places, only 3 of them are new locations. And they're not big locations. They're very small.
Well, I mean, just look at the multiplayer. I feel like they just reuse maps.
Yeah, one of their biggest promotions was, look, guys, we're bringing back the Peacekeeper, and we're putting Raid back on. Don't you like Raid? I'm like, yeah, Raid has been remastered fucking 7 times.
Nuketown 4022.
Fuck off.
I think about Call of Duty and I compare it to Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed in 2017-18 did a really good thing where they stopped doing annual releases because the critical reception was going down so drastically, and they
Yeah.
focused on quality moving forward. And
I,
since then, the Assassin's Creed games have been loved for the most part,
yeah.
and they're adding new things into each game. They've changed the mechanics quite a bit across
Hmm.
each one, but I think that they've put a lot of love into them since then. I think that Call of Duty needs to lose some of its profit so they will be
Hmm.
driven to do this because they are already getting a lot of negative reception. We just need people to stop buying them year in, year out. But it's such a FOMO thing, too. If you don't have it, like a lot of times people's friends are playing it, and it's like, how
Hmm.
are you going to get them to stop doing that? That wasn't the problem with Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
It was a story-driven game, and that's what people are really upset with Call of Duty is just the quality's gone down, and then the story's not good at all in the zombies or campaign.
I would say for me, the biggest thing was there was like it was a time where it was like a lot of my friends were doing stuff and were busy, so I didn't really have like a game of my own to play. So I played that, and I had a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong; like I played the hell out of it. And then they did release the first DLC map pretty early in, um, and they're pretty okay maps. Like I definitely don't think that they're bad games whatsoever. Like they're bad maps whatsoever. But again, the first map relies on the nostalgia, fucking blah 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 blah. And now they're doing a thing where they're not releasing maps too as fast, but they're releasing like survival maps, which are like
Yep.
basically parts of the big map that you can play, but like its own thing. Which I think for farm that was fine because like obviously Transit did that in Black Ops 2, with like town, bus depot, and farm. Um, I do think for this game, it like that's like it's like Black Ops 2 being like, instead of releasing the new map anytime soon, we're gonna make it to where Die Rise has like a certain area that you can play just a regular survival game. Like I'm sure some people would have liked that, but it just kind of feels lazy and it makes it look like you're putting more work in that you didn't really put work into.
Yeah,
I
because
think,
at the end of the day, couldn't you just like if you wanted to do a survival run, couldn't you just play the actual map and just hang out in the area?
yeah, you basically could. And if you wanted to go run somewhere else, well, people are like, oh, like you could just have the Perca-Cola machine, which is like the machine where you can buy like all the perks in one place. I hate that. Also, too, that's just me because I think it kind of gives away on the whole challenge esque stuff. But whatever. Anyways, but basically, what I like or what I my thoughts on it is it a bad zombies experience if you're really into zombies? I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's anywhere near. I want to say I don't want to say Black Ops 4 because Black Ops 4 zombies is actually good. The only problem is the game's just crashed a lot.
Infinite Warfare Zombies
Um,
was not good, right?
no, Infinite Warfare Zombies was great. I
What
think it's
about
very
World War
underrated.
II Zombies?
The first map was fine. I think the rest of it was kind of ass. Cold War was not my favorite. I would say like it's better than Cold War.
Yeah, I had a fun time with Cold War, but I definitely can see retrospectively how you would feel that way.
Yeah, Firebase Z, not my favorite map. And then I think they only released like two other maps after that. And I think the only one I really liked was the Mortar Dare something. I don't even remember what it's called. I think if the thing is, if I can't remember the name of your fucking map, it was not that good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm down with that. I agree with that.
But the problem is, I think this is how you fix it. Stop releasing yearly. Take a year, because the problem that they are facing is that the next Call of Duty is about to come out while another Call of Duty cycle is already still in continuing, and they're pulling people from the current Call of Duty and putting them into the Call of Duty that's going to come out next. So now that team has less people. That's what the problem is, and that's the reason that they have less content going into the game. Now, I feel that they have been listening with like the skins and stuff. I haven't looked at the recent skins as of right now. It's January 24th. I haven't looked at the recent skins, but like from what they said, they said they weren't really going to go with like the whole wacky skins anymore. I don't know if you saw how BO6 ended, but basically they had like Beavis and Butthead. They had like just all like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was very like Fortnite-esque, but like in a game that's supposed to simulate war.
Yeah, I've seen that before because they had the Terrifier skin too and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They had Art the Clown.
I maybe I know they had like the boys stuff like Homelander,
That's right. Yeah, they did.
Black
Yeah.
Noir, and Starlight. I don't know. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
doesn't really feel like it fits, and I
do you
feel
think
like a
it could
lot of
be
people use
fixed if
those.
they made like let's say they made one game and it was just like called Call of Duty Zombies and they
Mhm.
just released things in there.
Just as zombies.
And like they
Uh,
just built a story from there and like would come out with like almost like it's a live service
like
game. I know people are scared about that
yeah,
now, but
yeah. I would say if they just released a like just zombies as its own game, I think if you really wanted that experience, go play Skirt Ritual.
Skirt
Um,
Ritual.
yeah, they basically did that, like where they basically put all of like zombies, like Call of Duty zombies, like content, but made it its own game, and it comes with like 4 maps. I think it's like $20.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's a pretty fun game. I liked it when I played it.
Let's hop into our main segment of today. Today, we will be talking a little bit about Stranger Things Season 5, which was the phenomenon to hit this holiday season. We had 3 parts come out. We had Volume 1, 2, and 3. Volume 1 came out on November 26th, consisted of 4 episodes. These 4 episodes were, for the most part, positively received. Volume 2 then came out shortly after, about a month, December 25th, Christmas Eve that night, or Christmas Day that night. It came out, and that was 3 more episodes in which the Duffer Brothers, which are the creators of the show, warned everyone this is going to be a dark Christmas. To everyone's dismay, they realized that the next 3 episodes, Volume 2, did not feature any dark aspects to it at all. It only expanded upon the plot of Stranger Things and tied up some storylines. We then move on to New Year's Eve, December 31st, and we have Volume 3, which consisted of 1 episode. That was a 2 hour long finale episode, which covered the lead up to the big fight with the big bad Vecna. That happens around the middle of the episode with a runtime of 10 minutes. After that, we have an hour epilogue at the end, which is being coined their Return of the King moment. If you don't know what that means, Return of the King was the 3rd movie in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. What they had at the end was a extended epilogue showcasing what happened to the characters afterwards. This 1 hour block at the end of the finale basically showed where everyone's going from there on out after the series is wrapping up. People did not like that. People were very critical of volumes 2 and 3. A lot of aspects of it people hated. They did not like the acting. They didn't like the story decisions. They found that there was a lot of plot holes. But yeah, that's a little overview of how this series has gone. It began in 2016, and where it has ended up now, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's one of the biggest shows ever to come out, and I think that people are just not happy with where it's gone. So, Jonathan, before I give any opinion that I might have, tell me a little bit about how you personally felt.
For what they did, for like the ending that they were trying to tell, I think it was fine, but I don't think it ever went like above that expectation of like it's just fine, you know? Like it's an average, pretty average, maybe a little mediocre ending, but like how else do you end a show like that? But in my opinion, I think that there were obviously already problems that they kept saying that they were going to fix and then never did. And I think the problems kept adding on more and more as much as we've seen the cast grow. Like, I'm talking about like the cast growing as in not age wise, but people, how many people are there. I think it
Mm.
was too many damn people, because you give less time for people to actually be their own characters. Because I also like that they try to make us like feel very sad for Mike in the end about Elle dying. Also,
Mm.
spoiler alerts for anybody who has not seen the fucking show. Why are you watching this episode if you haven't seen it? Um, they also try to make us feel very bad about Mike and Elle, like, you know, losing each other. But the thing is I think the only time that we have ever seen Mike and Elle be in a quote unquote real relationship was in the first season. I think after that we have never seen them really interact.
Season 2, they I thought that it showcased their
They never saw
relationship.
each other.
Oh,
They
season
never saw each other.
3. I'm sorry. Season 3 is
They broke
whenever.
up for more than half of it.
But at the beginning of the show, it showcases where they've been for the past year, and how
No,
like
at the beginning of the episode, it just shows them kissing in the rooms with each other, and
it
then
so
they break up because Hopper's like, "You need to leave, and you need to like blah, 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 blah." And then
um
she gets mad at him for leaving, and then they break up.
so I recently rewatched the entire series. um
So, hang on,
and
can I finish this real quick? Can I finish
yeah.
this real quick? Like season 3. You start with it like they're the only real thing that we have gotten from their relationship is that they're kissy, ha 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 ha. And like, are they kids? Yes, but like they're just in a relationship. That's really all it is. And then, you know, at the end, obviously they make up and they do whatever. Season 4 tries to go a little bit more into it, where they're like, I don't know how to tell Elle I love her, blah 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 blah. But the thing is like and then again, they are not together for like half of the fucking season. We have a more connection with Jonathan and Nancy's relationship than we do than Mike and Elle throughout the entire fucking series, except season 1. Okay, I'm done
I think that's
with
valid.
that part.
That's valid. Let me respond to that really quick. I'm not going to give
Go
my
ahead.
opinion on anything just yet, but I will respond. I recently watched the entire show, and Cameron watched it, my girlfriend, for the first time as well. She found that the relationship between Elle and Mike was not done well too. She didn't like their
Mm-mm.
chemistry. I actually do not think it's due to the writing at all. I think that they were given enough moments together throughout the show to
Mm-hmm.
convince us that they should have been a good relationship. I think Finn Wolfhard is a good actor, but doesn't sell the role of being in love with Elle. And
Yeah.
I think Elle does well. I think Millie Bobby Brown does a great job at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that he necessarily pulls it off all that great. And I
Mm-hmm.
find that the experience that you get whenever you watch season 5 in isolation is jarring comparatively to the other
Mm-hmm.
seasons. So whenever I watched all the seasons leading up to 5, and then I've gotten to 5
Mm-hmm.
now and I'm rewatching 5 again, I've found that it flows quite nicely into 5 from 4 to 5. I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
it would, but it does. And then you get to 5, and for some reason, and I can't put my finger on it because they're giving all the characters the moments that are needed. It doesn't have, what's the word for it? Like the same life that it did in the other
Mm-hmm.
seasons, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
personally struggling to figure out where that's lacking. And I think it's because so many big things are happening every single moment. I think that
Mm-hmm.
we're not given time to breathe, even though sometimes things move slowly. There's always some type of insane thing happening next, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a struggle. And I think that's why I've brought it up so many times. But Nancy and Jonathan's scene in season 5, where they're both about to die and they're professing how they do love each other, but it's a trauma
I
bond.
like that scene.
Yeah, I think everyone loves it because it gave our characters a moment to wrap up what had been,
Yeah.
instead
I
of like,
think people
yeah,
also people were really stupid with that, because they were like, wait, so did Jonathan and Nancy break up? Yes. Duh, they broke up. Like, did people not realize that through like when watching it the first time?
it made me sad. I don't. I think said this to you. I don't think it's necessarily their fault at the end of the day for thinking that, because
Mhm.
Season 5 is drip fed to people, and it like the dialogue is broken down. Every single plot
Yeah.
idea is spelled out through them talking, or
Well,
this is
do you
Mike,
know why?
this is
Do
Max.
you know why it's done that? And I hate that. I hate. But do you know why it's done like that?
I saw the Netflix thing.
Yeah. So they're basically saying it to where, for people who do not know, they're basically talking about it as they're like, we want people to be able to know what's happening with the show while scrolling on their phone. So we don't want to like lose people who are like not fully paying attention. And it's like, what are you watching the fucking show for? If if you're no, that baffles me. That just really baffles me. Like
And
I'm Gen Z, and that fucking baffles me.
we should also say this, that that is not confirmed from my understanding. That is simply, these are like or not theories, but there's been rumors spread from internal
Like
people at
studies,
Netflix. Yeah.
studies
Well, there's
that
some
you
just
can know. Yeah.
I was
Now
just
you
gonna
know
say
what
it's
is
been.
confirmed.
Oh, it is confirmed.
No. I'm saying you know what is confirmed. No,
Oh, what's that?
that they started production of the last episode and didn't have the ending written.
So I watched the making of season 5, and they do say
Mm-hmm.
that. So this here's how I feel about it. This is a common thing in shows to not have the finale written. They knew where they wanted to go. From my understanding and what they've said, they've known since season 2 that they needed to have an ending plotted out. So they knew where everyone was going to end up, but they didn't know how they were going to get there. So if for anyone who doesn't know, Stranger Things was initially meant to be an anthology. The first season was supposed to be a specific plot with a specific group of characters that do not return after that. It was going to be an independent
Which is
story.
where it should have ended.
Well, so
Sorry.
season 1 happens. After that, Netflix approaches them and says, "Hey, people love this show. Let's continue it. But if we're going to continue it, you have to show us a proof of concept for where the story is going to go, so we know you're just not writing out of your ass." And that's what they did. So they did know that Elle was going to have this ambiguous ending. And they knew where the other characters were going to end up, but they didn't know the route they were going to take, which has led a lot of theories to people being like, they didn't know Vecna was going to be a person. They didn't know this. They didn't know that. From my understanding, they also knew what the Upside Down was going to be since the start of season 2. They knew all of that. But here's where I have a problem is between season 4 and season 5, there was an extended amount of time because of the writer's strikes, which were inherently a good thing because, people were advocating for better pay,
Mm-hmm.
better rights, for what they were doing.
Better bitches, better. Sorry.
In that time, here's the problem. Here's the big problem is that in that time, if you're the Duffer Brothers, you have so much time to figure out where you like how you want your story to go. And like as for me, I'm a musician, I'm a creative person. In my off time, I'm constantly practicing and working on music. I can't imagine having such a big show and not having at least 4 or 5 different scripts of the entire 5th season written out. George Lucas, before he sold Disney to hit Star Wars to Disney, he had like different treatments, different scripts of all the sequel trilogy movies plotted out that they just bought from him, threw out the window, because he cares. And I think that if you're the Duffer Brothers, you should have had several season 5 scripts created before the first moment you sat down in the writer's room with the other people. I don't know how you can have such a big show and not have that finished before you walk in. Although it's common that you show up for a season and the whole thing isn't written, in this scenario, you had so much time. I don't see why it wasn't done.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, what the hell were y'all doing for 3 years?
Yeah. And like they are writers, so they're part of the strike and stuff. I just don't get it.
I hated the whole making every episode like a movie, like type-esque shit. Like I hated that. I think that's stupid. Because one, it takes longer for production and people are going to be uninterested. I think season 4 ended off pretty great, but I also felt like that they put themselves in a corner with that writing. Because it's kind of like, now where do we go from here? And they did not deliver, in my opinion. I think it was just big like, oh my God, like the world's ending. Like where the hell are we going to go from here? The first episode of season 5, everyone's like having a grand old time.
People have complained about that, and after going back and watching my favorite season, which is season 4, I love season 4. I think it's amazing. It's their Nightmare on Elm Street season. They literally brought back Robert
Yes.
Englund, who played Freddy Krueger in the originals, as
Mm-hmm.
Victor Creel, Henry's dad. I thought that was
Yeah.
amazing. And the music is even representative of the old Nightmare on Elm Street. They also used 35 millimeter lenses to get closer up shots of people. So the season actually feels distinctively different. That whole vibe is abandoned in the later in season 5. I think that the vibe is best, and this is a controversial point. The vibe is best in season 5 when they're in Vecna's memories and it's Holly and Max, because there's such vibrant colors and it has a art direction. People don't like that storyline, but I think the art direction and the aesthetic is really cool.
Yeah, I feel like Max didn't learn her lesson the second time when the portal opened again.
Whenever they didn't run.
Fuck up. Yeah, she's just sitting there you can't come with me. Find your own way out.
Why didn't she tell her earlier? She was like, "You're not coming."
She's like, my husband's here to pick me up, but I don't have a boyfriend. Oh, sorry.
No. What was that? Who was that? You're fucking Holly the heroic. Go find her.
Yeah, you're Holly the fucking heroic. If she would have saw what her thing looked like too, I don't think she would have hopped back through it. If she saw the area she was in where she has the thing in her mouth and is hooked up to this thing, she would have been like, I'm not fucking jumping through that shit. So I feel like as a white straight male, I'm going to give my opinion on the Will coming out scene and how controversial it was. It makes it sound like I don't like the scene. That's not true at all. I think and I want to talk about why people hated it. Obviously people hated it because they're like, why is this happening? What, this is so stupid. Blah, 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 blah. Why is he doing this right now when the world's about to end? Holly just fell from the sky and is getting sucked back up to Vecna. Who knows what's happening to her? And Will thinks that this is the great time to come out. I think they weren't paying attention to the show because they literally explain why he's doing what he's doing. And because they talk about it. They're like, look, Vecna, no, and obviously this is the 80s. People have to remember, this is the 80s. It was not as accepted as it was back then to, be openly gay. But, and I think the thing is that we have to look at is Vecna literally has this secret over Will that people do not know about him, which I think obviously his brother knew, and I'm sure his mom knew as well. And people were like, I don't like the way he came out. And it's like, how do you just say it? You don't just say, I'm gay. I don't know. And people were like, oh, this is a weird time to do this. And he's doing it because he's like, look, now Vecna has no secrets over me. And now he has no weaknesses over me. And this helps me be stronger against him.
It's but also B-Rabbit and 8 Mile.
Yeah, sure.
So people also thought this came out of nowhere. People thought, but that's just not true.
That's what I'm saying. People were like, oh my God, this is the worst possible time to come out. Why are you doing this? Why the writers are just doing this to the and it's like, no, there's a reason. I was paying attention. And then you have the whole Byler situation that so many people were upset about. People were like, Byler didn't happen. And it's like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Mike has never shown himself to be gay in the show. Why would that ever happen? And Will knew that wasn't going to happen either.
That's the critical point. And that's what I think the only good aspect about Robin in season 5 is that she is such a good character for Will, and she has some really genuine conversations about that whole situation with him.
I think Robin,
it's great.
Yeah, I think Robin season 5 is great for Will, but as a character, I think they kind of wrote her character. And I told you this, I think me and you had just a regular conversation about this, and because you were telling me, you were like, something feels really off about Robin, that that has not shown like this in the other seasons. And I think what I told you is she is the epitome stereotype of someone with like ADHD. You know,
In season 3, what
yeah,
kind of sucks is that in season 3, she was shown to be such a like she
like
was
a
all over the
laid back,
place.
chill.
Well, I would say, like, even if you go back and watch it, she was a little bit talkative all over the place, but she was smart. Like,
Yeah,
she was really, like, she could
right,
figure stuff out really quickly, much quicker than
right,
Steve and Dustin and them. It's Dustin's a genius, but she could figure,
right.
like, out clues. And then as season 4 and season 5 come along, they just make her, like, the dumb character. And I'm like, why? She's
Yeah,
not that.
she's much smarter.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
her comment about like Steve's like wiener that she makes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about whenever she's, like, Dick, Harry, and John or something like that?
No, when they're like talking about like it's gonna be like a tight squeeze, and she's like, Steve's heard that before, but that's never stopped him, huh? And then
Where did that come from? Where did that
That's
come
right.
from?
He literally goes, "Why would you say that?" Like, for real though, why would you say that? Like,
Why would she say that? That is a crazy thing to
ugh.
say in that moment. She also, I thought that the vinyl scene explaining how Max and Holly are
I
trapped in
hate.
Vecna's mind was the worst scene of season 5.
Yep. I also there's a lot of plot holes that I have with it as well. One of them is if the Upside Down is trapped in 1983 when Will first got kidnapped, how are there plans in the laboratory that show what the Upside Down is supposed to look like? Like where Dustin finds the secret room and it shows what the Upside Down is. How is that possible? If the Upside
Um,
Down didn't exist.
well, so the Upside Down, from my understanding with the exotic matter, is that the Upside Down did exist whenever Elle created it. She created that wormhole whenever she sent Henry down into the
Yeah.
abyss. So she sent him
Yes.
to this alternate dimension, which is all. So the abyss, and people are confused about this. So I'll explain this
Wait,
real quick.
no. She opened the gate when she touched the Demogorgon. That's not true. It's not what she
So
sent Henry. She sent Henry to the other world, which also, first off, why would they put a musical and not have it accessible if it's going to be important to the fucking story?
that's due to
Because also, how did she send him there? And that was his quote unquote first time seeing it. But the musical explains that he's been going there since a kid.
so that's due to there's union laws to where they can't record any Broadway performances, and so they're not allowed to upload it. I think they should have done a short recap of what was covered in the play. I think that would have been
Mm.
super helpful for people. But
Yeah.
let me get my plot hole straight. I'm gonna explain this one, and then we
Yep.
can get into the musical, because the musical has some really bad ones.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about the abyss, um, I don't think it's ever fully explained when the Upside Down was immediately created, because she did touch the Demogorgon, and that could be an
Well,
interpretation.
it's being said that it's frozen in time
Mhm.
when she it's Hawkins frozen in time when the portal first opened, which is when she touched it back in 1983, or if that's the right year, I don't 100% remember. But you know,
Yeah,
so then
my understanding was
when
that
they
she
go to the
created that.
laboratory, yeah, but like when they go to the laboratory, and you know Dustin finds like out that the Upside Down is just a wormhole to the abyss, that really kind of irks my gears, because like how are their plans of what the abyss is, or what like of what the wormhole is, if it wasn't even created in the first place?
So, okay, so the Upside Down was around before that, but whenever she touched the Demogorgon, the gate opened to the Upside Down. So then the Upside Down was then accessible to Earth after that. But the Upside Down was already a thing before that, but it wasn't accessible at all. The Upside Down was already a thing before that, but the gate got opened whenever she touched the Demogorgon.
Mm-hmm.
Brenner knew about the Upside Down. He knew about all this kind of stuff. He knew, and that's what's discovered in season 5, is that he knew about all of these different things. Whenever this is my speculation, is that whenever the Upside Down gate was created, Brenner needed a way to make it constant, consistent, and whatnot. So somehow, some way, and you can argue about whether or not this is a good story plot, he was able to devise exotic matter with all of his scientists to hold the Upside Down in place. And we already saw them exploring the Upside Down, and I wonder if during that time that they kept on exploring it in season one, they were able to create exotic matter to hold it into place. I know Dustin said that it was created by man. Um, I personally think that's a bad explanation, and I think that the exotic matter is such a cool idea. I wish that it had been created just in the Upside Down as the glue holding it together, instead of we created that. I think that would have been stronger because it's leading people like me who are apologists for this series to have to piece these pieces together and figure it out.
Yep. I think if we're going to talk about plot holes with this, I think we also need to talk about Community Gate.
Or Conformity Gate.
Conformity Gate. Yeah, whatever the hell it was called. Basically, I told Taylor about it when it was like being popularized. That Conformity Gate was basically going to be like the secret episode of this, which I thought was a way for just people to cope with like the terrible ending that they wrote. But people were starting to pick up on things that didn't make sense in like the epilogue of the show. One of them being, you know, when you see Will's mom, you know, talking to them downstairs, telling them to come upstairs, she doesn't have her scars anymore. Which is, yeah, that's kind of weird. And then people were like, and then there's like other ones. It's like, why were there signs at their graduation that didn't have anything written on them? Like, it's so weird. Like, that doesn't make sense. It's like, it doesn't. Like, I don't know. It was like, there's like a whole bunch of things you can look at. But one of the things that I liked, one of the things that I thought was funny was, I don't know, people were like, it makes sense because, you know, Vecna only knows Steve Harrington to have like a baseball bat as a weapon, so they're gonna make him a baseball coach.
And so blah, blah, blah. There's also, I fell deep down the Conformity Gate rabbit hole, not believing it for the longest time. They convinced me at the end, and here's why.
Really?
So here's why. I fell into it, and I was super busy during the time, so I couldn't make any shorts about it or TikToks, but I was following it quite deeply. What it's shown is that everyone thinks, because of the inconsistencies in different items, that Vecna had taken control of Mike's mind, and all of this was just a projection of basically what Vecna wanted Mike to see, and all of them were trapped in the abyss with Vecna at that moment. But here's the deal. So here's where it gets fishy. 7 is a number that is consistently shown throughout the series on clocks, in conversation. Lightning strikes every 7 seconds in the Upside Down. It's a huge number. So people were starting to think January 7th is going to be whenever the 9th secret episode, Conformity Gate, comes out. And this is the biggest trick that the Duffer Brothers have ever pulled. 7 days was how long Joyce was crazy whenever Will wasn't around. And everyone
that's how long he was missing for.
Yep, everyone's like, she's crazy. We are Joyce. And so there were these GIFs being posted
the picture
in the
of
comment
her
section.
With the lights, like,
yeah, the picture with her with the lights, because everyone was like, we are Joyce. We're gonna unravel this. And might I say, I'll say actually another thing real quick. The graduation outfits were orange. They're supposed to be green. The stage play, they're orange because that's what it was back in the day whenever Henry was in high school. And so that's what they were like, oh, this is because that's what he remembers. There's also restaurants. I forgot what restaurant it is in particular that wasn't around.
That didn't sell milkshakes. I remember that.
Yes, because it wasn't around at that time. So there's so many things that point to that actually being real. It's quite insane.
But also, I think it was just bad writing.
That's the thing. And Vicky wasn't around. Vicky is Robin's girlfriend.
He doesn't know who Vicky is.
He doesn't know who Vicky is. So there's several things that led me to believe, could this be plausible? And I, for like a brief moment, was like, this could be the greatest bait and switch we have ever had in television history. And then I didn't believe it as it was getting closer. But for a brief
It was
moment, I believed
so
it.
it was so bad. It was so bad that Netflix actually crashed on the 7th
Yeah, and the
because
problem
people thought
with
that
it
was going to
all,
be the 7th episode.
um, yeah, also after that, people didn't stop. What happened after that was people were starting to think on the 12th, January 12th, whenever the making of season 5 came out,
Oh my
they
God,
thought it
let
would
it go.
they thought it would be similar to Wes Craven's A New Nightmare, which was the seventh Nightmare on Elm Street film to come out. And what it was that it was actually a making of the Nightmare on Elm Street. Like it was all the actual cast members playing themselves in the real world. And since they were no longer making movies about Freddy Krueger came
Mm,
out of the movies and attacked the actual actors in real life. And people thought, oh
mm.
my God, this is actually what's going to happen for Stranger Things. Vecna will be attacking Millie
Nope.
Bobby Brown, Noah Schnapp, all of these characters in real life, and it's going to be like a mockumentary style film. Um, People just couldn't let it go. They couldn't believe that the ending was the actual ending. Go back and watch the actual ending, and I haven't gotten into too many of my opinions, but as you can probably already find out, I love the ending. I thought that the epilogue, the hour-long epilogue at the end, they wouldn't do that just to reverse it. It was touching. It was meaningful, in my opinion. I thought that they
Yeah.
rounded out most of the characters' arcs really well. Quickly,
Yeah.
I'll tell you where I have a problem with the ending, and it's
Mhm.
before we get to the epilogue. It is with the fight with Vecna. I don't
How
have,
short it is,
not really. I think
and how
it could
there's
have
no
been longer.
Demodogs or Demogorgons or anything like
Yes.
that.
Here's my problem with that is that they had, and you've probably seen this, but they had conversations in the writer's room. This wasn't something that they messed up on. It was an
Hmm.
active decision not to include demo dogs and demo bats, all that, because they thought that demo
Because how would they
fatigue.
defend? How would they defend that?
Well, no, they thought. So, have you seen this before? Why they actually didn't include it?
Well, I was told that the Duffer Brothers said that, oh, Vecna didn't expect a surprise
Hmm.
attack like that, so they weren't there to protect him. Okay,
That's
so where the fuck were they?
that's the explanation that they give afterwards. But if you watch the
Also,
making,
I'm sorry, I just saw another one. Why, if Mike's a part of the hive mind, how come when the hive mind died, Will didn't like get hurt or even Vecna?
yeah, that's the thing. Let me answer this one, and then I'll hop to that. Um,
Okay.
Oh yes. If you watch the making
The
of
making, yeah.
yeah, if you watch the making of documentary, what you'll find is that they're sitting in the writers' room and they're discussing the ending battle and they're saying stuff like, "How should this go?" One of the writers even says, not the Duffer Bros, but one of the writers says, "We have to have like an army of Demogorgons and Demo Dogs and Demo Bats because it's gonna be crazy if they're not there. Like,
Hmm.
how would they not be there?" Um, and the Duffer Brothers are like, "Yeah, that makes sense." This one writer, she ends up bringing up, but have we thought about demo fatigue? Are is the audience tired of Demogorgons? And they're like,
What?
that's something to consider. So it was not them forgetting. This was an active decision they made, which leads me to think I don't think a lot of the things that people are upset about were, this might even make it worse. I don't think it was actual forgetfulness. I think it was active decisions that they made not to include things. I think that they
Well,
knew things needed to be added.
well, here's the thing: if they brought in all these guns and stuff, they wouldn't have worked. But you know what they could have brought? They could have brought
Flamethrower.
a broken wine bottle. They could have
Oh
brought a
man.
broken wine bottle and done some serious damage to a Demogorgon. Did you know that?
Here's my main thing. Here's how I think the final battle could have been rewritten to be crazy, even better than it was. I think that if they
Hmm.
had all gone in with flamethrower esque weapons, because they know that works, why not go
Also,
in?
how did the military not know that? Also, why did the military just start shooting at the dogs instead of using flamethrowers right away? Did
Well,
they
that's
not have
another
any
thing.
type of protocols for that? Because they knew it's not like they didn't know that fire didn't work. Because like the thing that they had, like the tentacle thing, they had like a heater on it to like keep it at bay,
Mhm.
basically.
So,
So
and I agree,
I
and
don't know.
that's
That was
why
weird.
fire weapons are like we know
And
that
you
works
don't
again.
have to answer this question. These are just my like
Oh yeah.
these are my problems that I had with
Um.
the show. Like I like the other thing that I had a problem with as well was like with the whole with Will. how was Will a part of the quote unquote hive mind this entire time? And anytime a Demogorgon got hurt or something like that, he would get hurt with it as well. But at the end, it just doesn't work like that.
I think that the ending would have been so cool if we know, like you had pointed out, fire works against the Demogorgons really well. If they had all come in with flamethrowers and we had seen a scene where Elle has to get inside the mind flare, all the Demogorgons are attacking, and our characters are having to defend the L and stuff with flamethrowers, all these like monsters attacking. They're trying to fend them off, with fire and all that. And then on top of that, Noah Schnapp, Will, is getting like hurt the entire time. He's burning back there. And in that moment at the end where Millie Bobby Brown, L, is about to lose, he powers through that pain, stands up and takes hold of Vecna for Millie Bobby Brown to do that final hit. I think that would have been amazing. And continuity-wise,
would have been much better.
Fix a lot of things.
So if Will was part of the hive mind throughout all of like season 2 to season 4, anytime like a Demodog or Demogorgon got burnt, like he would feel that pain. Why is it in the final battle he doesn't ever feel that pain whatsoever when like the mind flare dies or when Vecna dies?
That's a great point. And throughout the entire series, his connection with the hive mind has been incredibly inconsistent. I don't know how it works. It's just been inconsistent the entire time. Sometimes he feels pain whenever something gets hurt around him. Sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not a good answer.
Yeah. But I also have I have 2 hot takes, actually. And then I think that'll be the end of my straight. Because like I can sit here and tell you about how I don't really like the ending. But there's 2 hot takes that I have. And one of them I think is going to get people all riled up.
Let's hear it.
And we'll do that one last. My first one is that Elle's dead. She didn't live.
Yes, I agree.
She is literally like
she went
because if the theory was that she lived because what her sister was making an illusion, there's a few problems with that. One, how does her sister know what illusion she needs to be making for Elle at that time? Hang on a second, I'm trying to fix my cam. And my second question is if the bomb blew up or if the thing blew up at where she was first, wasn't the illusion broken like as soon as she blew up? And then like Elle was still standing there after it blew up because it took a second to like get to them. She would have been gone if that's the case, right?
So people have argued, oh my gosh, this one, I think she's dead too. But people have said, but she died on the second floor and that blast went off and obviously wouldn't hit her first.
That's not how that works. I don't think they know how an explosion works.
I know. People have said that. I think she's dead, but continue.
But yeah, no. So I don't think she's alive. And like I also hate that. Like I like that they leave it up to interpretation, but also I find it as much of, they're like, look, we killed off one of the main characters. It's like, no, but you left like wiggle room to be like, no, they're still alive.
I think it would have been strong too. I like the ambiguous ending, but I think it also would have been such a strong ending if they had just said she's dead.
Yeah.
Because you've probably heard this, that she was the representation of childhood for them, and that's why she couldn't continue on into their adulthood.
Right. So my last hot take that I have is that Steve was right about Eddie.
Yeah.
Steve was right about Eddie. Eddie's sacrifice meant nothing.
Because
he did it out of selfishness and self-pity. But I don't that doesn't make it less sad, obviously, because in the end he was brave, but at the end of the day it wasn't really a quote unquote sacrifice.
Jonathan,
it just
I never even saw him get angry.
What, Eddie?
No, have you seen that?
What?
Have you seen that meme where at the end of season 4, he's like talking to his uncle. He's like, I never even saw him get angry. And then it has like a compilation of fuck, like Eddie screaming.
We need music. This is music. I saw Eddie.
I'm so sorry. I cut
you know Eddie only had 42 minutes of screen time.
I didn't like Eddie.
You didn't like Eddie? I liked Eddie. Hold on now. That doesn't mean I didn't like Eddie.
I thought Eddie was an annoying character.
I liked Eddie more than I liked Billy.
I thought Billy was mean.
Yeah, okay, he's supposed to be, though. That's the point of him.
But
Billy is like what Steve was supposed to be in season 1, but they liked Joe Keery so much they wanted to make him a better, more rounded character. But I don't know. I think in my final thoughts of Stranger Things, if it didn't end season 1, which I think it should have, I think it should have ended at season 3.
As much as I like season 4,
without the whole Russian, without the Russian plot line of that. But I did like season 4. I liked the direction it took. I think the ending was just not well executed.
As much as I like season 4, I think that's a valid opinion to want it to end at season 3. I've heard people say that, and I fucking love season 4. It's such a good season, but
season 4 is so good.
I could see people wanting it to end at season 3. It ends quite. They should have kept Topper dead.
I agree with that, because I think we talked about it. You told me that you didn't like how people were like, once a character is like has a full arc that they should die. I don't agree with that, and I told you, I was like, I agree with that too. My problem is I don't like the fake out deaths. Like shit, I don't like that. I don't like the fake like. We're going to fake this character's death to make you feel sad, but we're also going to leave wiggle room to be like, they're alive. Like, I don't know. Also, when you talked about the 7 seconds, I'm just now remembering with fake out deaths. When Steve fell off the tower in the final episode, guess how long the screen was black for?
Was it 7 seconds?
7 seconds. I think that one was a little bit of a stretch.
I feel like the
also hold on, season 5 love the slow-mo cam. I don't know what the hell it was. They love the slow-mo cam.
A big criticism is that it felt very MCU-esque.
Yes, very. But that's where I'm going to leave my final details with it. I think if we ever wanted to talk about it a little bit more, I would write a whole video essay about it. I'm sure I could, but I think if I sit here and talk about it more. So that's what I'm going to leave it off with. Season 1 was the best. I think it had the best story and the best time with the kids. I think as the show went on, with season 1, I think they had a budget of 50 million or like 25 million or something like that. By the end of the 5th season, they had a budget of 500 million.
Yeah. So,
and I think it should have ended there. I think it should have just been done. But yeah, so I think that's where I would end it with that. I would say the full series in total, I would give a solid, like, I don't want to say a 7. Actually, I'll give it a 7 for like, because like people didn't like season 2. I like season 2. There were like a few episodes I didn't like, but season 2 was pretty good. Season 3 I liked, season 4 I liked, and season 1 obviously. I think if like majority of your show is really good and then your last season's not, that doesn't mean it's a bad show whatsoever. Like, it got popular for a reason, you know. Like it didn't just grow overnight and then just be. It wasn't just like, oh, this was like a show that started off really bad and it had like a few good moments. Like, no, the show was good from the beginning. So I would give it like a 7 out of 10, the whole series in total. But season 5, I'm going to give a stinking 3 out of 10.
As for season 5, I'll leave it at this. I'll say I could get into so many things I love about it. And then there's just some inconsistencies that I think are kind of weak and felt rushed a little bit. I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I think that some of the attacks that some of the actors are getting, I have to say this, are vicious. Millie Bobby Brown, for instance, is getting vicious attacks. Noah Schnapp is getting awful attacks. And I feel like it's out of sexism and homophobia a lot of the times. And
that's insane.
I think that kind of sucks. But the show in general, I think, is great. If I had to rate season 5 on Skull Meter, I will say it is a 5.8 out of 10 skulls. I think it was good. I had fun. I cried. I did cry. I didn't even mention that, but I did cry at the end whenever Jim, Hopper, and Eleven have their special moment about how she says, "I'm not Sarah," and I thought that like, whew, that was tough.
I
thought that was
also
a
think
really good
that
moment.
that was. I do feel though that was a little hypocritical of Elle to agree with all of that, to be like, I am going to live my own life and I am going to do whatever I want, and then be like, yeah, I'm killing myself.
I think that that whole purpose was letting that. I think that moment served for Hopper to understand that he can't have reigns over her anymore, and he has to let her do what she knows is best. And that ended up being sacrificing herself. And I thought that the moment where he was sacrificing himself and earlier in the season was so lame, regressive as character development, very regressive character development. But I think that's what that served. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll give my full thoughts or my full rating on the season ratings, is that what I'll have to say is the moment where Vecna was messing with Jim Hopper's mind and Elle was in the tank was so cool. I want more of that. That's what I wanted more of.
Yeah, I like that scene.
Oh, dude. Cameron, whenever she watched it, loved it. She thought it was amazing. And I think because he's like going around him and like he's actually scared. And I was like, I got chills whenever I watched it. I was like, this is like him taunting someone. It is so cool. But yeah, so if I had to give my full ratings of all the seasons, I would rank my seasons as this. Season 4 is number 1 for me. Next after that, I have season 3. I think season 3 is second best. After that, season 1 is third best. Fourth place, I have season 5, and fifth place, season 2. I think season 2 is weak.
Here's how I'll rank mine. I'm gonna go from my least favorite to my favorite. I would say I said my least favorite first, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, my least favorite is, I don't want to be like this, but I think season 3 is my least favorite. Not because of it's bad. Actually, pause, rewind. Season 5 is my least favorite.
Understandable.
So season 5 is my least favorite. Season 3 is probably my least favorite out of my favorite 4, obviously. Because, and that doesn't mean it's bad. I think the Russian plot line kind of threw me off. I don't really care for the whole Russia and under the mall kind of thing. But I like the aesthetic of season 3. I think it's very
so good.
Fun, so good. Season 2 next. I thought the Halloween, the mind flare, the demodogs, the mystery. I thought it still kind of had the implements of what season 1 brought, and was still reimagined it. Now it didn't have great episodes. Obviously, you have like Lost Sister. I hated that episode. I think everybody did. Season 4 is probably my next favorite. I think the only part I didn't like of that was, again, the Russia plot line with Hopper being in Russia. Now, I think it was cool, like the cage fight with the dog, like the Demogorgon. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, that was
so. Whenever he comes up with the sword.
Yeah, I know. Like, he didn't even have to use that, but he's like, I'm gonna aura farm here.
Oh, dude. So good.
But I really love that they introduced Vecna. I think Vecna's introduction was very well done, as like a main villain of the show, instead of it just being like the Demogorgons or Mind Flare or whatever. And then obviously number 1 is season 1. Season 1, like, I don't think anything is past that. I think that is where we saw all of our characters at their peak, with Hopper, Joyce. I think maybe Jonathan wasn't the best in that one. Jonathan and Nancy were my favorite, but obviously the kids were great. Steve, people also, hot take too. Steve, on your rewatch, did you ever hate Steve? Like, did you ever did you ever think like Steve was like the bad guy, or like was like a dick?
So,
because I never thought that once on my rewatch.
I rewatched it and I saw whenever I watched season 1, I was like, I just thought Steve was immature. I didn't think he was a bad guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a fucking high schooler. What do you
Yeah,
expect?
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I definitely do think that, that's how I feel. Yeah. So did you have any recommendations? I had one, but if you had one that you wanted to give out, I will give mine like at another time.
You can do yours.
Okay, so my recommendation is a pretty newer game that came out. It actually came out last month, and it is called Routine. And if you look at the aesthetic of what the game looks like, it is very Alien Isolation-esque. Because it is literally a routine. It says Routine is a first-person sci-fi horror set in the abandoned lunar base designed around the 80s version of the future. Explore and investigate your surroundings as you survive against the unknown threats. Which, from what I've seen, the unknown threat is like this invincible robot that's like hunting you. It's like you have like this like little taser gun that can tase it for a second.
This has super positive reviews.
Oh yeah, but it looks insane. But again, it looks very big, like Alien Isolation. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to play it. Because like I showed it to my friend Grim, and he was like, "Yeah, you would love this. Like it looks just like your type of game."
Yeah, it does. It looks like Alien Isolation, but like it looks like a nice spin on it.
Yes.
Which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, you should definitely play this and make a video or just stream it, whatever you want to do, That'd be cool.
I thought about streaming it.
Yeah, that'd be great. So cool. Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to play it.
But I actually don't know who the developers are, but I mean, from the looks of it, the developers, this is their first game, but the publisher has created a few games actually before this. It doesn't look like they've created anything like too well known, but like most of their stuff is pretty popular. So
yeah, this team looks as though that they just got a publisher that has released some smaller games, but this game looks like it's probably one of the highest rated ones.
Yeah, and I actually bought it a while back when it was on sale during the winter sale, so I actually do plan on playing it. So if you're interested in that, either my Twitch or YouTube, one of those.
So a little quick thing about the team that made it. It's a team of 3 people who made the game, and they actually they started this game back in like 2020, it looks like, and they had a hiatus for a while of making it, and then they got back to it, and this game has kind of been worked on for a long time. Yeah, but this looks like it's their only game that they have developed.
Yeah, and I think it definitely looks really, from the trailers, it looks really good. So I definitely want to give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, I'm happy we shout out a small team. That's Lunar Software.
All right, man. Yeah.
But anyways, man, thank you so much for joining me.
3 hours of recording. Oh my God.
Yeah, I wonder how long this video is going to be. It's probably going to be like 2 hours, 15 minutes or something like that.
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, like good. This is the first video of 2016 then, right?
This is the first one. Last year during this time, we had done a comment reading video.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. And then, what I found, Jonathan, is before we go, I'll say this, is that I wanted to do another comment reading video at some point. We've had less TikToks pop off because I've posted less. Yeah. But even the ones that do pop off, we've had a couple. It's a lot of the same complaints and comments. It's not like there's anything new that people are complaining about.
Well, I was about to say we also can't really go off of that because I don't know, it's not as prevalent. Like we've already basically kind of gone over all the stuff that people don't like about us.
Yeah, at this point it's like it's the same stuff.
At this point someone's gonna have to like physically go out of their way and be like, yeah, this person's fat or some shit, to be like something new. Because like people have made fun of our appearances before, but like not in any way that's like been hurtful, at least to me.
I've been called Drake a couple times.
You have. Yeah. I don't know why.
Okay. But anyways, all right, man. Thanks for joining me today, Jonathan, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace. Go watch a horror movie.
Go watch a horror movie.